watching ABC News GH. This is ABC News. I am Abna Mante. Coming up in the headlines. Catholic Archdiocese of Accra prays for an end to Galamsey in protest walk against illegal mining currently underway. We will bring you live updates on the environmental walk. Chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, only collective action and shared values can help the country win the fight against Galamsey. Still to come, the Electoral Commission has dedicated 40,647 polling stations for the conduct of the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. In business, digital experts predict the cost of internet services increasing as the government rolls out 5G network in November 2024. And on the international front, South African prosecutors have concluded their investigation not to bring any charges against Ramaphosa or his security detail. Stay with us. We have details of these and more coming up shortly. We are grateful for your attention this afternoon. We are streaming on YouTube, ABC News GH channel. Into our first story, the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra's protest walk against illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey, is currently underway following a service of preparation held at the Holy Spirit Cathedral. The event attracted Catholic worshippers, environmental activists, and members of the public, all united in their call to end the destruction caused by Galamsey. During the service, Reverend Father Godwin Fiawuyi, SVD, addressed the congregation, calling for divine intervention in the fight against environmental degradation. He urged participants to remain steadfast in their advocacy to protect Ghana's natural resources and ensure a sustainable future for the nation.
We are praying for our nation Ghana and her leaders, parents, chiefs, religious leaders and government to come together and find a quick solution to Galamsey and all other environmental menaces. Finally, that God will touch the hearts of all those involved in Galamsey, either directly or indirectly, to change their ways and respect Mother Earth, which is our common home. Forgive us for the most part. We've been careless with creation. We are praying for our nation Ghana and her leaders, parents, chiefs, religious leaders and government to come together and find a quick solution to Galamsey and all other environmental menaces. Finally, that God will touch the hearts of all those involved in Galamsey, either directly or indirectly, to change their ways and respect Mother Earth, which is our common home.
The group is expected to submit a petition to President Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House demanding swift action to address the crisis. Let's take some excerpts from the walk. My colleague Andy Opondenchi is at the environmental prayer walk by the Accra Archdiocese of the Catholic Church. Andy, what can you report from the prayer walk?
Sure, Abna. Good afternoon to our viewers. So the prayer walk, the environmental prayer walk against Galamsey today was very peaceful, and it just ended like 15 minutes ago. As usual, the police security was on point, protecting protesters as they walk from where the protest began, the Holy Spirit Cathedral. They walk through to the Christ the King. As they walk, they protest their placards calling on government, talking about the menace or the continuous menace this Galamsey is posing to Ghanaians, and calling on the leaders to put a stop to it. And as they hold these placards up there in the high, they observe prayers. They were actually praying. They were actually praying as they were coming, and they were reciting they recited the rosary prayers, the Lord's Prayer, and with every one of them holding their rosary praying. So they prayed from the time they began until the end point, which is the Christ the King. And today's protest is close to, a lot of people did turn up for today's protest, and approximately could hit close to 2,000, both young people, old men and women showing up in their numbers and here calling on government and the leaders of the country so that something could be done about this continuous menace that the Galamsey seeks to protest. And of course, as usual, there was a heavy traffic in town as these people, or as the protesters, were on guard, walking, also reciting their prayers. There were heavy traffic, and drivers could be in the heavy traffic for close to 10 minutes because the line, if I may call it that way, was very long, and they were also walking, not necessarily in a rush, and not walking slowly, but they were walking in a way so the drivers were stuck in traffic at the back, and they were stuck in traffic for close to 10 minutes. And one significant thing that I noticed on this particular protest, over the previous protests that we have had, the anti-LGBTQ protest, and the proponents calling for the government to assent the anti-LGBTQ, and other groups also protesting. One significant thing that I saw particularly about this work was the prioritization of sanitation. I realized that a lot of people were holding black plastic polythene, whereby anytime any of the people, that any of the protests drink water or there is anything they want to dispose, they don't put on the floor. They make sure they dispose it in the rubbish that a few of the people are holding along with them. So as long as walking and protesting, they are making sure that they are also not keeping the safety or just littering around or doing anything. So I must say that today's protest has been peaceful. So we got here at the Christ the King close to a little minutes after 1, where the a representative from the Jubilee House, that's the deputy chief of staff responsible for operation, came to receive the petition, and he also made mention that the president is out of the country on international duties, and when he comes back, he will make sure he hands over the petition to him for the needed thing to be done. So Abna, currently the work has ended close about 30 minutes ago, and everybody has not dispersed yet, but a few of the people are walking around, the security and the police are also around, but most of the protesters are at the Christ the King Church observing prayers or mass, if I must call it. So that's what is happening, or how the work transpired.
Engage any of the leaders of the environmental prayer walk?
Yeah, so as I said, most of them were walking as the protest was going on, and they were walking. We were advised that they said they are observing prayers. So the few that I spoke to was talking about saying that if after they have protested, or they are actually protesting so that, or going on this walk so that this galamsey will end, and if it doesn't end, they are calling on the Virgin Mother Mary to intercede if nothing really happens after this walk. So it's basically calling on the leaders, because it is the same what we eat, what we have to drink, we do get it from the land, and if the land is being, or the water is being contaminated, how then can we get good food from it and good water from it? So that was a few things that they were they mentioned to me when I interacted with a few of them.
Apart from Catholic members, were any other people from other denominations part of the prayer walk?
Yes, other people from the other people from other denominations were there though, but it was the Catholic members that I did see most and interacted with when I got the chance to. But one key personality that I also noticed was the flag bearer of the PNC. That's Mona also came around, joined the walk to add his voice to it, and in our interaction with him, he made mention of the continuous menace of the galamsey that is ongoing, and the need to put a stop to it. If the government is in office, there's something that he's supposed to do. So he adding his voice to this religious faith environmental work is also a way of he telling Ghanaians that there is a need for us to put a stop to galamsey. So basically, other denominations they join, but the Catholics are the ones that I interacted with when I had a chance to.
Andy, after this prayer walk, what next for them? Did the leadership mention what next they will be doing, or the next steps they will be taking?
Yeah, so Abuna, as stated, when the petition was handed to the rep from Jubilee House, that's Deputy Chief of Staff responsible for operation, when he received the petition, he made mention that the president, as usual, is out on international duty. So when he comes, he will make sure to hand it over to him for the president to do the needful. But their response also is that definitely the president is out of the country. So when he is back and nothing is done, then they would also have another walk, basically. So the president is out of the country. So when he comes or arrives from his international assignment, then they'll know what to do next. Yeah.
Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome, Abraham.
That's my colleague Andy Opondenchi reporting from the environmental prayer walk organized by the Accra Archdiocese of the Catholic Church. Still on the fight against galamsey, Chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, joins calls for government to find lasting solutions to illegal and irresponsible mining in Ghana. According to him, the country requires collective action and shared values to win the fight against galamsey, which has dire consequences on water bodies and the nation's forest cover. Speaking at the Younger Generation Politicians and Leaders Conference at the Pentecost Convention Center in Gomwafete, the Pentecost church leader called on all and sundry to join in the fight against the menace and charged government to own the fight.
Site, and just to ascertain what was going on, I think about a year ago, then we went to this chief, and the chief said, as for me, Maha, galamsey, obiya nyo mishye soha, obiya nyo mikromoha. And he was, then I asked him, but chief, are there some chiefs who are involved in this? I said, I know there, I mean, maybe no cry. But let's say that Pra River is flowing from the top there, from here. In Ukrobe and Pra Nefasubi, like Asin. So you are in Asin, you are in Dabuasi, the Pra Minister of Dabuasi. Then you are saying that, as for here, no galamsey. Ombe hunu isunu or Asin Praso. Now on Crawford never knew what that was. And so, what are you gaining? Why we are not able to solve galamsey is that there are no shared values. This one has his thinking, this one has his thinking on the issue. If we all sit down as human beings, we will solve this problem. Yeah. And all of us shared values. That is why you always need good leaders. Now listen. We all have our minds. So when a leader is not directing us to where the things should go, all of us will come on with our opinions, and that is what we mean by division.
Security analyst Adib Sani has likened the urgency with which anti-galamsey campaigns must be accorded or treated with to the fight against terrorism. Disagreeing with organized labor's decision to suspend the nationwide strike against galamsey, he stated that the canker of galamsey is a national security threat and must be dealt with as such. Speaking on ABC in the morning, he highlighted the growing threat posed by galamsey to national security, stressing that it requires the same level of urgency and coordinated effort as tackling terrorism.
Threats. Fighting is fighting terrorism, because this is not just physical terrorism, it is environmental terrorism, it is emotional terrorism. And so we need to approach the fight as if we are fighting terrorism. This is treasonable. This is a major national security issue. The forest cover is being depleted. The oxygen we breathe, they are from the trees, and I'm not sure that we have oxygen meant for NDC or MPP sympathizers. The water that is being destroyed, I'm not sure that when the water is coming through our taps at home, we are asked if we are NDC or MPP before we enjoy the water. We are talking about the destruction of cocoa farms. This year alone, I have lost 2 close friends.
Meanwhile, security analyst Adib Sani has urged the government to devise accountable measures in order to prevent any form of complicity or involvement of military persons in the ongoing Operation Halt military operation against illegal mining. The analyst highlighted several potential vulnerabilities that could allow military personnel to engage in galamsey activities. These include the opportunity for collusion with illegal miners, the potential for bribery, and the possibility of using military resources for personal gain.
Some tendency of acquaintanceship builds over a period of time. So, for example, if you take an officer to, let's say, Osino, and keep him there for several months, he would make new friends. He will become very acquainted to the community, and that is when you have them easily getting compromised. So, as often as possible.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyameche, has called on the country's leaders to stand firm and resist the temptation of corruption. According to him, the nation's economic prospects can only improve if there is a change in people's mindsets regarding corruption. He adds that politicians should focus on enforcing the law to change people's mindsets, as that is the only way to fight corruption in the country.
It breeds unemployment. Corruption is a social danger. It facilitates environmental degradation. Corruption destroys nations. Corruption destroys the future. And I like this one. Corruption undermines honesty and hard work. There is no need to be honest and work hard. When corruption is all around you, and you know that just by adding zero, you can also make some money. Why do you have to be honest and work hard? Corruption favors the privileged few. And this is a bane in nations where we don't have competent hands and the people are greedy. Corruption reflects the character of the people, both leaders and citizens. But how many of you know that at the heart of the economy is the people? Some people say that this is the movement of money. Huh? How many of you have seen money moving before? Economy is the activity of human beings. It's how human beings manage money. So the center is the human being. So if you just tackle, when we can, we'll change the economy. Without changing the human being, nothing will change.
Now into election-related matters, the National Democratic Congress has served notice that it would not accept attempts to prevent Ghanaians living in Togo from participating in the upcoming general elections. According to the NDC National Chairman, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, the opposition party will squarely meet any act of discrimination against people crossing into the country via land to vote. Speaking at a rally in Ziope, in the Agotime-Ziope constituency, which lies on the Ghana-Togo border, he questioned the intentions of the Ropal law passed by the governing New Patriotic Party. He urged electorates in the constituency that has been the traditional seat of the NDC to be steadfast, as the governing MPP will devise means to ensuring their votes are suppressed by preventing their relatives from crossing over to vote. The Electoral Commission has released the list of polling stations for the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections, which revealed that the elections will be conducted in 40,647 polling stations. In a statement signed by the Electoral Commission's Deputy Chairman in charge of operations, Samuel Tete, the Commission indicated that 328 out of 40,647 polling stations are dedicated to special voting. The Electoral Commission also announced the printing of notices of poll and ballot papers in a communique on Wednesday, October 9. The announcement was met with fierce opposition, particularly from the National Democratic Congress, which resulted in a meeting with other political parties on Thursday, October 10. The NDC demanded ballot statistics ahead of the printing process during the meeting on Thursday, but it disclosed that the EC's leadership directed them to confirm those statistics with the various printing houses that have been commissioned to carry out the process. The EC, in a statement on Friday, October 11, clarified that it is the printing of the notice of poll for the presidential and parliamentary elections that is set to commence on Friday and not the ballot paper. Still on elections, independent presidential candidates who doubles as the founder and leader of Yellow Ghana, Samuel Appiah-Dankwa, has taken legal action against the Electoral Commission following his disqualification from running in the upcoming presidential election. Appiah-Dankwa, among 11 candidates disqualified due to alleged irregularities in their nomination forms, is challenging the EC's decision in court. Appiah-Dankwa filed a lawsuit on Thursday, October 10, seeking to overturn the Electoral Commission's ruling. According to him, the decision was unjust and he is calling for its reversal. He is also seeking a mandamus order to force the EC to reinstate him as a valid presidential candidate. Appiah-Dankwa's legal action is not isolated, as other disqualified candidates are also contesting the EC's decisions. The flag bearer of the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona, has filed a lawsuit against the EC after being similarly disqualified from the presidential race. The flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Kofi Asamoah-Sian, has joined in taking legal steps challenging his disqualification. Both candidates argue that their removal from the race was unfounded and are seeking legal redress to secure their place on the ballot. Away from the EC and matters arising, the paramount chief of the Doma Traditional Council and president of the Bono House of Chiefs, Osagyefo Osiadeayo Agyemangbedu II, has expressed renewed confidence in government's Agenda 111 initiative after a visit from Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during a stakeholder consultation forum held on October 9 at the Domahene Palace. Domahene acknowledged the initial skepticism surrounding Agenda 111, but noted that the government's commitment and progress have dispelled doubts. He praised the government's progress in Agenda 111, highlighting its potential to improve healthcare in the region. He also called for more development projects like the One District, One Factory initiative to be extended to Doma East. He said, "It is true chiefs don't do politics, but cannot close our eyes to the many development interventions your government has brought to Ghana and also Doma Mine. Here at Doma, we are very much aware of the many road improvements you have brought to us. We can boast of asphalt here, and even my palace has benefited," he said. Additionally, Osagyefo Osiadeayo Agyemangbedu II voiced strong opposition to illegal mining, urging the government to take action to protect the environment for future generations. Away from that, the Legon Botanical Gardens is set to close down permanently on October 30. The announcement was made on Friday, October 11, via the company's social media handle on X, formerly known as Twitter. In the announcement, the company stated, "We are closing the Legon Botanical Gardens on 30th October 2024. We believe we have been able to put lots of smiles on countless faces all these years. Legon Botanical Gardens was a chapter Follow Mulch Company Limited. However, no specific reason for the closure was disclosed. The gardens offered numerous activities like a high rope course, canoeing, a canopy walkway, fishing and cycling, creating lasting memories for visitors. It has been a popular outdoor destination for relaxation and adventure for both adults and children." Let's take a breather. We will be back. Stay with us.
One night, 100 leading companies, 100 coveted business awards. This is the Ghana Club 100, powered by GIPC. It's time to honor Ghanaian companies that have stood the test of time, made an impact, and are blazing the trail in their respective industries. Join us for the 21st edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards on Friday, October 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Palms at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Purchase your tickets now via the USSD short code *365*2100#. Alternatively, you can call 0243 534 559 or 0247 600 860 to RSVP. This event is under the auspices of the Office of the President, Ranking Partner, KPMG, Ticket Partner, COBA, Diamond Sponsors, Platinum Sponsors, Gold Sponsors, Supporting Sponsors, Beverage Sponsors, Media Partner, ABC News TV.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's head straight into business. Kwesi Etuahene, Executive Director of Africa Center for Digital Transformation, says the country does not have its priorities right in rolling out the 5G service. He explained that Ghana does not have the necessary infrastructure in place to roll out a 5G service now, stating that the country has not fully utilized and exhausted the 3G and 4G services, and there is no need to roll out the 5G service. He said that the country needs to eliminate the electricity problems and set in place the underpinning digital infrastructure needed before it can roll out the 5G service.
It's like China, United States is working very well for them. But for a country like Ghana, it appears as though we are getting our priorities not so right. Why am I saying this? As we speak now, in these modern times, October 2024, we are still having electricity problems. Okay, the 4G and the 3G, they are parts of the country that have not even exhausted it up to this point. So even though 5G promises fast internet, access for more devices to be connected, there are underpinning digital infrastructure that needs to be set in place before a government can enroll such a contract with Midday Infraco. Now, I don't want to go so much into detail with the procurement issues that if the government...
Etuahene added that should government roll out the 5G service, the cost of internet will be exorbitant for Ghanaians. He said that the next gen Infraco, as the sole supplier of the 5G service to all telcos, will make Ghanaians unable to afford the 5G service. Compared to neighboring countries, Ghana has the most expensive cost of internet.
Paramount among them is to make sure the cost of internet is not as expensive as it is now. All right, internet now is very expensive in Ghana compared to our neighboring countries, compared to Togo, compared to Burkina Faso, compared to Nigeria. I don't know how the usage of internet, but the faster it is for you, the more expensive it's going to be. So if you are complaining about it being expensive with 5G, imagine that we fully run 5G, and other telcos like MTN, Airtel, Tigo, Vodafone now switch to depend on Midday Infraco to supply them. It's going to be very...
That's all for business. Let's head straight into sports. Chelsea's Cole Palmer and Enzo Maresca have been voted the EA Sports Player of the Month and the Barclays Manager of the Month for September 2024 respectively. This is the second Player of the Month award following the first win in April 2024 for Palmer and the first for Maresca. Palmer's impressive form last month saw him lead the Premier League for both goals and goal involvement. During September, Palmer scored 5 goals and provided 1 assist in 4 appearances, including a historic 4-goal haul in 21 minutes against Brighton and Hove Albion. He also contributed to Chelsea's 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace and 3-0 win over West Ham United.
Just 22 years of age, Cole Palmer is the man of the afternoon yet again.
Palmer, Jackson, 1-0. And Jackson has played in Cole Palmer, and it is 3 for Chelsea.
And Jackson squares it, and this will be a goal this afternoon for Cole Palmer. It is Palmer! Incredible minutes here at Stamford Bridge. Sancho, it's Palmer again. Both got 4 now, and it's not even half time. Just 22 years of age, Cole Palmer is the man of the afternoon yet again.
Palmer, Jackson, 1-0. And Jackson has played in Cole Palmer, and it is 3 for Chelsea.
The Black Stars were held to a goalless draw by Sudan in a crucial AFCON 2025 qualifiers fixture. Despite both teams showing flashes of brilliance, neither side was able to break the deadlock, resulting in a 0-0 outcome that leaves both teams with work to do in their upcoming matches. The Black Stars, who were hoping to secure a win to bolster their qualification campaign, dominated possession for much of the match. However, Sudanese defense remained resilient, blocking several key attempts from Ghana's attacking players. Both teams had chances to score, with Sudan threatening on the counter-attack, but strong defensive efforts from both sides ensured the scoreline remained unchanged. Ghana's head coach Otuado expressed disappointment at the result, acknowledging the team's inability to convert their chances into goals. He commended the Sudanese team for their tactical discipline, while also emphasizing the need for his players to sharpen their finishing in future games.
The only thing which was missing was the goals, and surely we have to work on this. We have some few days to analyze it, how we can score better. The chances were there, a lot of chances, but this is football. This is football, sometimes very, very hard, difficult for us. So now it pains even more. The Niger game pains even more. And also the last minute goal against Angola pains even more, because today again we did well, and there's nothing much I can say, and just the result, and this is the most important thing in football. It's not correct, and I think we deserve to win, but we didn't, and we will stay positive, and we will beat them away with the same performance, the same passion, the same creativity up front. We will beat them away. Surely we will try to train finishing and give them confidence. That's all. This was the only thing which was missing. The spirit was good, the passion was there, the defensive discipline was there.
That's all for sports. Let's take some international news. After a 2-year investigation, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa will not be charged in connection with the Farmgate scandal, where $580,000 was found hidden in a couch at his Fala Fala game farm in 2020. Prosecutors concluded the investigation and decided not to bring any charges against Ramaphosa or his security details, citing a comprehensive investigation process. Ramaphosa had denied any wrongdoing, claiming the cash came from the legitimate sale of his buffaloes at his farm. He reported the alleged theft to the head of his police protection unit, although he didn't explain why the money was hidden in the couch. The scandal, also referred to as the Farm Gate, led to opposition parties bringing an impeachment motion against Ramaphosa in Parliament. Despite the lack of charges, the controversy surrounding the incident may still have political implications for the president. Away from international news, let's take some entertainment news. Sean Diddy Combs' trial for sex trafficking and racketeering is scheduled to begin on May 5, 2025. The trial date was set during a pre-trial hearing in a New York courtroom, where prosecutors estimated they would need approximately 3 weeks to present their case. Additionally, the possibility of a superseding indictment, which could add new charges and defendants, was mentioned, potentially affecting the trial's duration. Diddy's defense team has expressed concerns about law enforcement leaks, including the release of sensitive information such as the hotel security footage of his alleged assault of his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. The defense claims these leaks could bias a potential jury against Diddy. The trial is expected to take around a month, with the exact date subject to change. And that's all for the news this afternoon. But before we go, a look at the headlines. The Catholic Archdiocese of Accra prays for an end to Galamsey in a protest walk against illegal mining. Chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, says only collective action and shared values can help the country win the fight against Galamsey. The Electoral Commission has dedicated 40,647 polling stations for the conduct of the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. In business, Digital Expert predicts the cost of internet service to increase as government rolls out 5G network in November 2024. And on the international front, South African prosecutors have concluded their investigations and decided not to bring any charges against Ramaphosa or his security detail. For more news, visit our website www.abcnewsgh.com. Interact with us on social media at abcnewsgh_. Our YouTube channel is abcnewsgh. Thank you for your attention. I am Abna Mante. Have a good afternoon.